Alright, so welcome to your third C# tutorial. So in the last tutorial, we created a very simple program that sort of shows up on screen and it doesn't really do anything. We can type whatever we want in it. It doesn't really do anything with what we type, but once we press enter, it'll close. So that's great. But there's actually one thing that I forgot to mention in the last tutorial. As you recall, I did go over how to type this stuff manually, but what if, let's say, you wanted to make Visual Studio make it add this using statement automatically on its own. Let Visual Studio figure out what you're missing, basically. So what I can do that, or how you can do that, is if you get rid of this, as you can see, the console is now, there's an error in this again, and it shows that it does not exist in the current context again. So how you can fix it is if you just right click, go to resolve, and then it'll show using system. Okay, if you click it, it'll add that automatically at the top. It's pretty cool. But one of the things you got to watch out for is it will not work unless you're using some part of this the system namespace. If we can hover over it, it shows namespace system. If you're not using something that's absolutely correct, meaning if I type in console like that, a lowercase c, and then everything lowercase, and if I type in dot read like that, it will not work. So if I get rid of this, okay, if I right click on this, I don't get the option of clicking resolve and then using system, because again, programming is all about having the correct case in this language. Anyway, there's a couple of different languages where you can use uppercase, lowercase, whatever. It doesn't really matter, but in C# is very important. So I can't stress that enough. So in order to use this technique, you have to have the correct word right there for it to work. So as you can see, if I right click here, it'll work. So that is why for beginners, maybe you want to stick with this typing the stuff manually, because you might not know what you're messing up here. So because you're already getting an error here, the compiler is not going to tell you anything else. So it's going to be a big mess. So for now, just type it in yourself, and once you feel competent, you can start using this shortcut. So enough about that. We wanted to actually write something on screen now. So how we can do that is simply we have to use the console again because we want to show something on the console. So type in CON, you can press tab or type in console, the whole thing. One of the things that I like doing is after I type in the name of the object that I'm going to use, just press dot, okay, and let IntelliSense show you all of the members of this certain class. So if I hover over console here, as you can see at the bottom, it says class system.console. So it is a class, very similar to this. Someone, went in, he started writing class console, and then there, instead of main, he has, a read method, and then a write method, and all a bunch of stuff. So it's really very cool. And in order to learn, you have to explore a little bit. So just press dot and just go through all these. See, a lot of them are very self-explanatory. They will show you what they do, like foreground color. That means it will change the foreground color of the console. At the bottom, I can change the title of the window for the console. So it's very cool, and I can, we can do all of that, but we'll cover that a little bit later. Right now, we just wanted to write something on the screen, right? So again, you can find something over here that will help you write. As you can see at the bottom, there's a couple of different ones. One is write and one is write line. There is a very small difference. I'll tell you what it is, but right now just choose write. Okay, so press tab, do the left bracket, right bracket, similar to the read method, and the semicolon. So now you have an error. It's not going to be very explanatory. Um, as you can see, if you hover over it, it says no overload for method right takes 0 arguments. So if you're just starting out, you look at this, you go, what the heck does it mean? Um, as you can probably remember in the first tutorial, I did mention very briefly, command line arguments and how if I type something in here, it'll help us, you know, take in some command line arguments and do different things. But well, now we're going to do that. So in between these brackets, you can type in something and that will act as an argument, okay, or a parameter. There's a couple of different ways of saying it, but so in here, basically, what they want you to do is type in what you want to show up on the screen. All right. So let's say I want to show on screen, this is some text. All right. That's basically this is not the right way, obviously, because of all these red squiggly lines. But I'm just sort of showing you systematically, why stuff works and how maybe some new beginners would think. Well, why doesn't it work? I asked C#, hey, you wanted to enter something in these brackets, and I did. And well, why are you not accepting it? If I open the errors list, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Probably not going to be very useful. You're not really going to understand what you're missing here. So there's one thing in C# that you're going to want to understand is to handle text, you have to enclose it in something, because just like class and main method, the program doesn't really know where the text starts and where it ends. Okay, so you're going to say, well, it's in the brackets. Why doesn't it understand that start here, end here? Well, the problem happens when you have a couple of different things. What if you want to have some text, and then you want to have maybe some other text on a different line, or there's a whole different topic there, but I'm not going to go into that yet. But simply, you need to have this enclosed in something. So you're saying, well, can I use this bracket? Well, no, you can't. Can I use the braces? No, you can't use that either, because they're specific to using for classes, or for parameters you use left bracket and right bracket. But what do you use for text? Well, you use quotation marks. So if I just put this these double quotes over before the word this, everything turns sort of brown. So what is basically happening is, now that you put this in, Visual Studio knows that what is after this is going to be some text. Now in C#, text is also referred to as string. Okay, so where does the word string come from? String is basically a string of letters or characters. Okay, so all these different letters make up a word, and then phrases, and then text. But as you can see, still there's an error. Why is it an error? Well, let's check the errors list. Well, it's saying that you're missing a semicolon and a bracket. But you look it up here, well, that's there, but why is it doing that? Well, because you're starting a string, but you're not ending it. So what is going on is it thinks that the bracket and the semicolon is actually part of the string. Well, that's wrong. So we have to tell the program where the string ends. Well, it ends right here. So you put in another double quotes here. And there you go. It works. There's no more errors. And technically this should work. So just like in these braces and these brackets, once you start using the quotes, you have to end it. So you have to do it twice. So what I like doing is actually, if I go back, delete this. So if I start from start, I don't do I do the quotes and then start typing the quotes again, because when you're using giant words and long sentences, it's very easy to sort of forget to close it, and then you run into errors. So what I like doing is doing them twice right at the start. So I'm not even writing anything, I'll just do it twice. Okay, so, and then I press left on my keyboard, go in the middle of them, and then type in this is some text. Okay, so this is just a very simple technique that will help you remember that you have to end the quotes, so you don't have to worry about it all the time. So let's just go ahead and test it. If I press start, it says this is some text, and I can just press enter and it will go away. So that's cool. But what if you want to write something again on another line? There's a couple of different ways that we can do it. We'll actually cover all of that in the next tutorial. And again, the write line function that we mentioned, that's going to come in to play next. So thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.